Hello everyone, welcome back. So I got a tag video for you today. This is the book tag, the sequel to itself tag, which was created by KD Books, and I was tagged by Kevin Toll at Kevin Toll Reads. And there are 5 questions, and so here we go. This is actually the second time I'm doing this. The first one was 43 minutes long, and I did it a couple of days ago. I was very tired, came out kind of somber, and perhaps a little bit too personal. So I am doing this again. Okay, so number 1, do you feel obliged to read? For my channel, no. So I like to read. I like to read a lot. I do kind of feel obligated to read just as a reader in general. So I'm always pushing myself to read. When I'm not reading, I feel bad about it. And sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating, but it is not for my channel, and I really haven't felt pushed to read for my channel. Or in fact, the truth of the matter is, when I started last year, I actually slowed my reading down because I wasn't able to keep up. I was brand new to making videos. It was hard to make videos because I was very anxious about it. And so I would find myself with a stack of books to talk about. And at first I didn't know how to edit videos, so I was doing them all in one take. And it was just not a good scene. But I don't feel obligated or anything to read from my channel. I feel good about reading for my channel, I think, but there are some times when I just want to read and not talk about them in a video. And so sometimes I have actually read books over the past year and not talked about them in a video just because I didn't want to. And anyway, no, I don't feel obliged to read for my channel. For myself, yes. For the channel, no. Question number 2. Numbers aren't everything. Agree or disagree? Numbers are not everything. And I sometimes watch videos where people will complain about how many views they got. I didn't get enough views. I didn't this and that. And I don't really understand that. I do and I don't. But what bothers me is that it is a very odd thing to make a video. When you make a video, you are, depending on your equipment, I just use my phone. And so what I see is just myself reflected back to me. And when you post that video, okay, you get 200 views, you get 500 views, you get 6,000 views. Well, unless people comment on the video, unless you have a back and forth with your viewers, 6,000 views might as well be 20 views. There's really no difference there if you have no engagement with your audience, if you have no interactions with the people who are watching your videos. And so I don't think that it is nice to have more subscribers, but one of the things you learn as you do this is that having more subscribers does not mean that you get more views, and it also doesn't mean that you get more comments. It doesn't mean you get more engagement. And so what I try to do when I'm making these videos is to think of the people who comment on my videos regularly, with whom I have developed a relationship with. And that is really one of the only things that has kept me going. I think that if I had consistently gotten 5,000 views on a video and got 2 comments or no comments, I think that I'd have quit, because I just don't get that. It is nice to see that 6,000 people have watched a video. I'm not going to deny that. But if there's no conversation, if I don't know if you liked the video or you hated the video, uh, then what am I doing it for? It's when you get no comments, it is like talking to a mirror. And even if you get a great deal of views, it's like talking to a mirror. And you're sitting in a room by yourself, maybe with a dog or a cat, but you are talking to yourself. And so if you get no comments, you get it doesn't do anything for me to get a lot of views and no comments. I keep saying that over and over, but that is because that is the truth and that's how I feel about it. And so when I hear somebody, particularly somebody who gets a lot of comments on their videos, who has this engagement with their audience, and then they complain, well, I don't get enough views. And it's like, well, you get 1,200 views per video. You get 5,000 views regularly. You get 100 comments on each video. What is your problem there exactly? The 100 comments would mean way more to me than the views, by far. This is my way of saying that I am grateful for everyone who comments. I do wish sometimes that there weren't trolls. I do wish that people would... What is weird to me is how somebody will watch a 25-minute video and then single in on one thing you said wrong. That is kind of strange to me, and I know that this is not the question or anything like that, but it is so strange to me. When you know somebody sat through at least 22 minutes of a 25-minute video, and they go, and it's like, yeah, I screwed up. I used a wrong term. I used a wrong word to describe this thing that has no real meaning on this video. It's just something. But I just don't understand that. I don't understand why somebody would watch a 25-minute video and then needle in on one meaningless little aspect of it that didn't mean anything. Or what is really odd to me is when people hear what they want to hear, when they will put in their comment exactly what you said in the video, like they will say that you are this way when what you've said in the video directly contradicts the accusation they are making against you. Anyway, I don't want to go off on that, but numbers are not everything. It is nice to have a lot of subscribers, but most of them don't watch the videos. It's nice to have a lot of views, sure, but it really only matters to me if I get more engagement with my audience. The number itself is interesting in the way that analytics tend to be interesting to the human brain, but it just, after a while, the views mean less and less to me. Number 3, do you feel pigeonholed? Do you feel you need to make content on certain things? So I do not feel pigeonholed. When I first started, I was trying to do a video, like a wrap-up video every weekend. I was trying to do a tag video every week. And I did feel pigeonholed then because, or I don't know if pigeonholed is really the right term for that, but I felt obligated to make those kinds of videos. And so I would get kind of frustrated because, like I said, when I started, I was very anxious. I didn't know how to edit, things like that. On top of that, I've never really had to talk about books to an audience before. I've always just kind of, reading has been a very solitary venture for me. So it was frustrating. So in the course of doing this, I have learned that I don't have to make any kind of video I don't want to make, that I don't have to keep a consistent schedule if I don't want to. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, consistency will get you more views and all that, and that's nice. As long as I keep going, I am okay with it. And to be honest with you, it's been a little bit hard recently for me to get through a video. I've made several videos lately. I know I made a 43-minute video one day. I made a 40-some-odd minute video a couple of days ago. I made several videos before that, and I don't know what it is, they were just all terrible. And so none of those will ever be posted. Uh, so if I seem a little out of it lately, it's because I'm having a hard time doing this. Not from any external pressure either. It's just all from within, and I don't know really what is going on. Do you feel you need to make content on certain things? So I'm guessing that would be like popular books, popular subjects, leaping on the bandwagon train. And the answer to that is no. No, I don't. I feel like if you have something to say about a topic, feel free to say something. Feel free to make a video about it, but I don't ever feel obligated to talk about anything, not even the books that I've read at this point. Question number 4, are you reading for the algorithm? So I think all you have to do to answer this question for yourself is to go back and watch a few videos that I have made and see that I am absolutely not reading for the algorithm. I made a video about a really good book that I really enjoyed. I used a little bit of a clickbaity title, but it was an honest title. It was truly the most beautifully written book I'd read this year. And that took off on the algorithm for a few days, got almost 6,000 views. I didn't expect it to at all. And I don't think that I could replicate that. I'm rather amazed that some people can replicate that kind of thing over and over and over. And for me personally, reading for the algorithm, I read books on a whim that I think that I will enjoy or that I think will teach me something, depending on how I am feeling in the moment. I have no desire whatsoever to read to fit anyone else's schedule or to please anyone else, not even the viewers of this channel, if I'm honest. I read entirely to please myself, and maybe that means that I don't sit and study every book. I don't analyze every book. But no, I am not reading for the algorithm. I am losing my voice a little bit as we go along. Question number 5. What's the worst part of content creation for books? For me, it is that I do all this from memory, and sometimes my memory does not cooperate. So I made a video earlier about some books that I had read, and even though I know I read them, I read every last line in them, and I enjoyed them. For some reason, for instance, I could not remember Sherlock Holmes's brother's name, which is Mycroft, but I just could not think of it, and I sat here for 30 seconds staring up at the wall, trying to remember Mycroft Holmes. I could remember Moriarty. I could remember the Diogenes Club, but anyway, my memory does not always cooperate. And so I will forget things, or I will refer to something in the wrong way, or I will sometimes mispronounce something, and sometimes somebody who is completely unfamiliar with my channel will pop on and accuse me of something, or be pedantic about something that I have said, or things of that nature. But I don't want to work from a script. I tried it one time. I felt like a news anchor. I hated it. I have no desire whatsoever to work from a script. And if that means that my channel doesn't grow, I don't care. I am doing this because I like it. I'm doing this because I enjoy having an engagement with the viewer. It's nice to have people who will discuss books with you and discuss other topics. And for me, though, that is the worst part. I wish that my memory would cooperate. And sometimes it does great. Sometimes, I'm able to do a 25-minute video on a single book, and it just comes out fine, and I have to do the minimum amount of editing. Other times, I will be in the middle of a sentence and just drop it and not remember how to come back to it. But for me, that is the most frustrating part of all this. I think that my memory has gotten a lot better over the past year, though. I think that the way that I look at books has really improved over the last year. I think that by reading books and, writing down interesting things about them, taking notes, underlining interesting quotes and things like that, and really having to think about how I'm going to describe these books to an audience has really helped me as a reader. And I do appreciate that. I think that's very nice because uh, the way that I reading for entertainment, a lot of times I will finish a book and then a year later I'll go, I don't even remember what that book was about. Things like that. That has really, really helped me. I am losing my voice. So that is the book tag, the sequel to itself. And I want to thank KD Books for creating this tag. And I want to thank Kevin Toll for tagging me. And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.